Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to today's Harmonize to Energize. My name is Terry Matthews. I work remotely for Jin Shin Jyutsu, or Mary Burmeister Jin Shin Jyutsu Incorporated, here in Phoenix, Arizona. Mary Burmeister Jin Shin Jyutsu is the authentic source of Jin Shin Jyutsu. It is an art of harmonizing energy as it moves through pathways or not in the body. It is not a substitute for any medical diagnosis or treatments, rather a complement. And how we complement whatever project rather than problem we work with is by placing our hands or fingers or thumbs left or right, the spine on the body and on the arm. Normally 2 at a time. If you've only got one hand, then it'll be 1 at a time, but normally 2 at a time. And what we're doing by placing our hands on what we call safety energy locks, there's 26 of them left and right of the spine, is we're releasing any stuck energy. And when that stuck energy is released, any issues of a soul, mind and body, or a bust line, waistline, hip line connection are moving towards harmony. And that's what we seek. We don't seek to cure, we seek to harmonize. And in harmonizing, we allow energy to flow congruently. So welcome everybody. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having a good day and it's been an okay week. For anyone who's absolutely brand new to Jin Shin Jyutsu, I'll just move us over to the website so you can see how to find out more about us. Here we go. So here it is. Here is the website of Jin Shin Jyutsu. For those of you who want to make a note of this, it's www.jsjinc.net. All the information can be found under these tabs, and information on all the different courses is here. What's coming up just in is a brand new webinar to our webinar with one of the new instructors coming up on Saturday, March the 12th. And generally speaking, these webinars serve those who have at least done one 5-day class. But if you choose to come on board without any textbook 1 or 2 experience, I guarantee you will learn something. And usually the instructor can involve, not always, but can involve some self-help, which you will benefit from. Here's the information. There's the cost. You can register today using PayPal. And then after that, before that, the day before, March the 11th, is a 5-day basic seminar taught by Anita Willoughby, and that is for people who maybe want to learn to be a practitioner as a profession, or just want to know more about Jin Shin Jyutsu and develop their insights and practical experiences. All the information's there, and the organizer and the cost there. And then also on the same day, we have a self-help class with Sarah. This class is in English with a Portuguese translation. We look upon self-help as the basic, fundamental, foundational teaching in order to understand the value of Jin Shin Jyutsu. So if you're completely brand new and you haven't had any experience at all of Jin Shin Jyutsu, quite definitely a self-help class will be your first point of call. And then we have a list of all the different offerings that you may or may not know about, you may or may not have missed, and you can click on the links here, find out how much they cost, and sign up. All right. So Hello, everybody. I see people from all around the world. It's wonderful. All right, let's begin today's practice. And for those of you that have been following along, Harmonize to Energize, Wednesday or Friday, this is an opportunity where we get to find out a little bit more about engaging with self-help by practicing within a 36 breaths structure. 36 breaths was a structure that Mary Burmeister, our teacher, used to help us connect and experience the energy as it moved through us from 4 different levels. That was originally the concept behind it. These levels are known as depths, and the idea was to help us get a sense of, as we move through, descend from subtler to grosser realms of energy through 4 specific depths. You can find out more about depths by doing the practitioner class or reading The Touch of Healing by Alice Burmeister, where she goes into an explanation of the depths in some depth. Anyway, what we do is we practice with these 36 breaths, 4 times 9. A breath in Jin Shin Jyutsu is an exhalation down the front of the body from the back of the head, safety energy lock number 4, which is the occiput, all the way down the front of the body to the hip line to safety energy lock 15 in the groin here, and down further to safety energy locks number 7, which is the big toe, and then back up on the inhale on the receiving from the 7th back through the 15 and the 2, which is opposite the 15 at the back, and then returning to the 4 to begin again. And we do that 9 times 4, 9 by 4, which is your 36 breaths. We have a little pause in between to notice, observe, witness where we are, how we feel. And I want to point out here, this engagement is more of a heart connection. It's not like you don't use your mind, but if you think too hard about what's happening with your energy, you don't feel it. So I'm going to encourage you in this process to really connect with your feelings. How does it feel? The mind can tell you where it feels that. You connect to how it feels, because it's those textures in Jin Shin Jyutsu that gives the practitioner a clue to what might be happening in your energy field at the time before they offer you a Jin Shin Jyutsu treatment. So if that didn't make any sense, don't worry. Hold your thumb. And remember, Jin Shin Jyutsu has an osmotic quality to it because it works with subtle energies. When our mind disengages and our heart engages, we allow the wisdom factor of our energy field to feed us osmotically. And you may not get an understanding of Jin Shin Jyutsu for, in some cases, years. These kinds of experiences, it may take a little longer too. But it's an expansion of your consciousness. So you can only embrace and understand and relate to whatever we're teaching from the standpoint of where you are consciously in your consciousness. Does that make sense? Hopefully, yes. So today we're going to look at, explore, and share Safety Energy Lock 18, page 47 of Self-Help Book 2. For those of you that don't have this book, there are links up here in the chat where you can go and order them. You can get them in as an ebook version as well. And let's have a look at the slide and we'll talk about what Mary said and what a couple of instructors said about Safety Energy Lock 18. Here we go. So there's Safety Energy Lock 18, left and right and base of thumb. And Mary says it came into the universe meaning body consciousness functions affecting human personality. It can help harmonize chest congestion, rib cage distortions, and or back stiffness, tension, stress, and back of head congestion. Quietly holding left or right base of thumb. Now, this was going to be one of the practices we're going to do, and I can suggest you can either hold left or right, okay, or both together. And the other practices which Mary recommends are actually holding the little finger, left or right, and safety energy lock 25 with 3. Safety energy lock 3 is just a little bit away from the third thoracic vertebrae. You hook your opposite hand over your shoulder and just move your fingers down and a little bit away from the spine, around about thoracic vertebrae 3. And 25 is your sit bone. All right. So before we actually practice, let's talk a little bit more about, do a little bit longer with these classes now. We have up to 40 minutes. We'll talk a little bit about what some of our instructors understood or shared about safety energy lock number 18 in this book, excerpts from the Main Central, which was a magazine that Mary Burmeister Jin Shin Jyutsu Institute used to publish. You can still, by the way, get all these Main Centrals while the printouts last. You can buy the whole lot of them, 1 to I think maybe 140 or something, by ordering them all from the office. Otherwise, if you just want to know about the safety energy locks, this is the book for you. Anyway, Lynn Pfluger, who used to be one of our instructors, this is what she said about safety energy lock 18. 18 is body consciousness, the aggregate intelligence of the cells of the body. This passage is from Dr. Paul Foster Case in his classic book, The Tarot, The Key to the Wisdom of the Ages. He goes on to say in his chapter on Key 18, the moon, which represents Key 18, that nature gives us the wild body. Art must perfect it. Yet a flesh and blood body is the necessary vehicle for mastery, as expressed here on the physical plane. And though it cannot inherit or transmit the power of adeptship, it can become a vehicle for those powers when it is rightly organized by adaptive methods. So, yes, often, we hear of people who spend a lot of their time in their head, and if you like, the heavenly realms. But we have a heaven and we have an earth. We have a body which allows the subtle energy to come through. Now, if you're one of these people who thinks you maybe are a bit of a space cadet at times and you wander out of your body more than stay in it, then maybe holding safety energy lock 18 is going to be something very handy for you. It's going to give you more consciousness of your body connection. So Susan Brooks, another instructor that was, she said when she wanted to know about safety energy locks at that time, instead of looking it all up in the book, she actually held the energy lock and experienced it for herself, which is really what Mary was asking in many ways by saying, be your own testimony. She said, with respect to number 18, when my mind is filled with layers of thoughts and I'm unable to sleep, holding the base of my thumb with the other thumb lets the accumulated tensions swirling in my head melt away. I feel my body relaxing. And the sequence that Mary offers in Self-Help Book 2 only strengthens that whole concept and experience of relaxation. As part of the 17-18-19 Trinity, 18 represents the mind, and it sits on the mediator pathway, which harmonizes attitudes. Additionally, as the energy pathway for the lung, function is ending, it travels through the 18 area. Mary used to talk about second depth as the breath of life, and with 18 as an exhaling helper, it allows our breath to return to its deep and natural rhythm. Wonderful. So without further ado, here are your thumbs, left and right. You can hold one at a time, or you can hold both by placing your fingers like this. All right. And we'll sit up straight, drop our shoulders, and if you need a cush because you got backache, then place a cush behind your back at your sacrum area. And we'll begin. Close eyes, stun cell phones. Exhale all the way from the head through the hip to the feet and back again. As we're exhaling, we're letting go of strife, grief, worries, fears, attitudes. We let go of what we don't need to build something new. And we naturally receive the breath. We don't take a breath, we receive it. Up the back. So it's down the front, up the back. Okay, 8 more times. Here we go. And for anyone who's new, no specific way of breathing in terms of in through the nose, out through the mouth, etc., etc. This is what comes naturally to you. But do practice emphasizing the exhale first. And we're letting go of all the dirt, dust and greasy grime that we hold on to in our soul, heart, mind and body. And to rejuvenate and replenish, we inhale. It's a continuous loop. It's a spiral that goes in a positive direction, both down and up. As we let go of this dirt, dust and greasy grime, we're inhaling what could be perceived as golden light, rainbow light, crystal light. If you're clairvoyant, you may see different colors. Not important, but it bears witness to what we're breathing in is a wavelength of light energy. Your metabolism is different from mine. You may complete the 9 exhalation inhalations before me. That's fine. When you reach your 9th exhalation inhalation, slip into neutral zone just to observe how you feel. And your mind will tell you where you feel, but your focus is really on the texture, how you're feeling, where you're feeling. Gives you some clues if you wanted any. Keep your feet firmly connected to the ground beneath. We need to ground ourselves, and 18 will help us. But feeling that connection gives you the idea. Those of you that are prone to being space cadetships, You might want to walk barefooted for a while on grass or on the earth. That will help induce that idea of descending energy to earth. All right, the next practice we're going to do is holding left or right little fingers. And I always suggest we do a little examination of each one to decide which we're going to hold. And the examination is really to the sides as well as the top and the bottom. Maybe they're both equally tender or not, in which case Mary would always say if you can read the pulses, go to the right side of the body, because that's what's going on right now. So hold that. Hold the right little finger. Here we go. Exhale. Drop shoulders. As you let go, you build something new, and then you purify the new to build the next project. And in this case, when I say project, I don't mean problem. Mary replaced the word problem with project. I mean the next development. Let's call it the next development. As we're letting go, the plan is to expand our awareness, to remove obstacles to the development of our awareness, expanding our consciousness. Feel the connection head to feet via the hip. If you're still having problems connecting to the earth, just squeeze your toes and your fingers. And that will help relax as you let go any tension that's preventing that connection. And as you reach the 9th exhalation, inhalation, again slip into the neutral zone, the vacuum, the quantum field, all these names representing nothingness, no thing, rather just being, and something that really has no obvious perceptible form. In the third set of 9 exhalations, one hand over the opposite shoulder, so my right hand is going over my left shoulder, close to the spine, thoracic vertebrae 3, pull away slightly, and then the other hand goes on the sit bone. Just check out which side may be more tender, and go for that one. Here we go. Exhale, drop shoulders. Sometimes people say, why the 3? Well, 18 is on the mediator flow, and 3 is the beginning of the mediator. Why the 25? 25 allows energy to ascend to the 3, and it also at one level helps it descend via the bladder to give us that sense of earthy groundedness, which the 18 does. 18 is also a higher vibration of safety energy 9, ending a cycle, beginning anew. You can hold the complete thumb plus the pad and you get 9 and 18 at the same time. I'll be very surprised if you're not feeling quite relaxed, but maybe you're not. So I will say this, whichever hold that you feel you need more of, stay with that for the last 9 exhalation inhalations. And also you can practice in your own time. And you can do more than 9 exhalation inhalations times 4. You can do multiples of as many 9s as you need. It's a guide, not a rigid, restrictive boundary. All right, as you reach the 9th exhalation inhalation of this particular practice, you can just relax. And like I said, you can choose to stay with any one of those practices, the thumb, little fingers, or this last one, if you feel you want to. Or you can give yourself a hug, which is what I'm going to do. And stop the thumb, which of course the pad is the 18, go underneath the shoulder girdle for section 22, and the thumbs the side of the shoulder blade, left and right. If doing both at once is difficult, take one hand away, leave the one under the shoulder girdle and place the other one on your thigh. Comfort is important. If you're not relaxed, then it's going to defeat the objective of releasing stuck energy. Exhale. Naturally receive the breath. Naturally inhale. 8 more times. Ooh, yeah. This is really relaxing me because I've had a lot of rest this week. So anyway, what I mean is I've had early nights. And as you come to the end of your 9th exhalation, inhalation, again, I remind you to feel that connection with the ground, which really Patrice, it's safety energy lock 18. And like I was about to say, always feel that connection between heaven, the head, and earth, the feet. And 18 will help facilitate that if it's an ongoing challenge for you. You know, up there in the heavenly realms, with the elves and the pixies and the fairies, it's very serene at times. We could float off. Yeah. However, if we want to bring what we're thinking and feeling to Earth, we need to land on the planet. So Here you come. Parachutes up. Then you go. So I hope that was helpful to you. And if it's something that you want to utilize in the future, I would just suggest, don't get stuck with, I have to do 4x9. You can do 5x9. You can do 6x. You can do whatever it takes. The cycle of 9 is helpful because it represents energetically ending a cycle and beginning a new. And it gives the mind something to keep it distracted enough not to interfere with the process of movement of energy. Yeah. So I introduced the website at the beginning for everyone who's new and talked a little bit and showed you about classes coming up. I just want to mention, though, there's something exciting for next Wednesday. I believe four instructors at least, with an interpreter, who I believe may be Ukrainian, plus LA. And I always love to see LA, who was one of the main facilitators, if not the facilitator for the We Are Ones. Next Wednesday, March the 9th, make a note, put it in your diary, 2:00 New York time, so it's the same as today. There's going to be four instructors, and they're going to be practicing self-help for 20 minutes, and they're going to dedicate this particular time in support of Ukraine. All right? And I believe there will be Stephen, who can translate into the Ukrainian language. I believe he's an artist, a journalist who's covered war zones, a minister, and a lifelong pacifist. And he's approaching this as a prayer for peace for all the world, not just Ukraine. Emails will be sent out, so you'll all be informed. And I will put up a promotion on our Facebook page to remind you all. So next Wednesday, March the 9th, 2:00 New York time, for Ukraine and for peace in the world, no bad thing, for peace and harmony. There will be this special meditation hosted by LA and four instructors. I know who some of them are, but in the mode or tenure of the Wednesday talk, let's have a mystery. It'll be exciting, I'm sure, in the most peaceful way. So, hope you all got that. Hope you have a beautiful rest of the day, weekend, and till next Wednesday or next week if you can't make Wednesday. Of course, there will be recordings, as indeed there's a recording of this, and the recording of the peace meditation, LA will upload to YouTube for those of you that aren't able to make that particular time. So bless us all, bless this planet, because even when there appears to be an accumulation of darkness, between the darkness, through the center of the darkness, there is always light. We talked about depths earlier on. It's just a different frequency. It's not a harmonious frequency, agreed, but it's nonetheless a part of this world we live in, and we're here to transform that, to find the harmony. And as much as we feel the pain in our hearts, we do our best not to judge harshly, but to discern. There are many, many reasons that you and I may or may not ever know for why certain things, certain intense, dramatic things can happen on this plane. Just exhale, connect to your heart, and breathe harmony, love, compassion. Because when that message goes out to the world enough, things can change. I personally believe it's only because not enough people believe that or practice that we haven't ever learnt those lessons, that harmony is what really matters. The rest is just a blockade, something that maybe teaches us lessons, but is very harsh and not really congruent with harmony in the universe. So I'll be there next Wednesday, so I hope you guys will be there too, and we'll look forward to that. Take care. Au revoir. Auf Wiedersehen. Cheerio. Look after yourselves and others. Help others, serve others, animals as well as humans, plant kingdom. We're all in this transformative plane, this melting pot together. It's not us and them. It's just us. Okay. Au revoir. Goodbye. Take care.